Welcome to day 8, Masters of the Genius Universe. Wow, we're halfway through. It's been amazing. It just keeps getting better by the day. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's video, the power of ecstatic awe. There was a wonderful comment in the Facebook group today from Jackie talking about how Santari and I are working together, and it is really lovely. So it inspired us to say that today we thought we'd do mastering partnerships, collaborations, and sourcing a masterful collective. How's that sound? Brilliant, right? A subject near and dear
Easy
to all of our
peasy.
hearts. Yeah, brilliant. So the first thing that Santari and I do every day, and before we start these calls, so I think we should do it now and just kind of demonstrate, is we line up together. Because if you're not aligned for your day, for your work, for your partnership, whatever, there's something that kind of doesn't work. And even in a group, oh my gosh, it just puts a cohesiveness in the group, a brilliance that's just amazing. So when Santari and I line up, we do this. So here we go, Santari lining up. We're getting to our fullest, each of us, and then we're connecting and aligning through the power core, that source core. Goes straight from the core of the universe to the deep eternal core of forever. And we're aligning our intentions, even if they are different, we can still align them. And be with each other in our magnificence. And off we go. And then we're into our day, or our call, or our workshop, or whatever we're doing. And oh my gosh, it makes such a huge difference. So maybe as we're saying that, could everyone watching this align with us now? So take a deep breath. Get to your most biggest, expansive, wondrous state of being. Glory in the reveling of being you. And then line up with Santari and I for a powerful experience on this call. For breakthrough for everyone, everywhere. And then line up with all the people that are in the Masters of the Genius Universe series. And you can feel that collectiveness expand and the connections being made. Yes, and aligning us all as a group for something brilliant to move through. Yeah. How about for you, Santari? How was that? And anything you want to add?
Well, I was going to say, what do you think happens when we do something like that? What is your take on it?
I think we're aligning as universal forces. I don't think we're just aligning person to person. I think our universal forces are aligning themselves to go play in the biggest possible way. And I think even if you do it for yourself, anybody who's watching, even if you align yourself in the morning to your biggest work, to the biggest breakthroughs, to the most genius alignment of you coming through today, something amazing happens when you do that. It's like you put the car on the road and revved up the motor, and filled it with genius gas, and it's ready to go. And I think if you don't do that, you kind of slide lackadaisically into your day. It's just another day, and what are you going to do? And but the moment you align yourself, it makes an extraordinary difference. Now, and when you align with someone else, as we do every morning, Santari, it exponentially powers the game for us. We will often align for abundance to come into the business, aligned for the bigger work to be done, aligned to have amazing breakthroughs through the day ourselves, etc., etc. Whatever it is we're up to, we align for that. So for me, it is about aligning our universal forces and putting the flow and power behind it to get something extraordinary to happen. For you?
Well, we spoke a couple of calls ago about the forces of creation, and I think this is very much on a par with that. You're just saying that I'm ready to do something amazing, and putting that into practice then becomes easy once almost like you've stated it and you have prepared yourself and made yourself ready for that level of interaction to take place. So for me, when we say we align together, it is, as you say, there is a meeting of, of that. When you say to people, to energies, to energy fields, to forces, I don't think it matters too much what you call it, but that the intent is really paramount.
Mm.
And once that is put into play, it is like then something marries, becomes easy to say things, to do things, and who knows what the day will then bring. I think it's almost like it's that type of conscious effort to almost like nudge yourself. Let me just remember to do this every single day, and then it's like marked in your consciousness diary. Oh yes, alignment. And what does alignment mean? Well, it means that everything is in a line.
Mm.
It's like if you're wanting to do something for which you have, but let's say those butterfly feelings, then what makes it easier is you take a few moments just to feel that you and the audience that you're speaking to, or that you and the forces of creation come together to present something which is impactful and more far-reaching than if you're just doing it with a few people. I mean, that is a terrific, takes you to another level. Let's put it that way. It's not just you achieve something more, it's that you feel that you're more capable, more present, that there is something additional to you in what you're wanting to achieve.
Mm-hmm. And it puts that in motion for you. I was just thinking, people with kids, if they aligned in the morning with their kids before they head off to school, that they'd have a brilliant day. The kids would have a better day. There's something, it does help to have them be seen, to be known. You're sourcing a space for them. You're lining up the day and all the elements of the day for them. So there's much more to it than just connect and align in a simplistic fashion. It's much bigger than that. You're actually sourcing the fields of movement for the day as well. And I think that's hugely important, because I know when you and I forget to do it, if we go a couple of days and forget, you can see the impact on the income right away. It's like we forget to tell the world we're here. It's kind of like that. And you make that field more pulsing, more vibrant, more dynamic. So there's an attraction factor to it as well. So, yeah.
I think that it's quite a nice thing to do with children, I would agree. I feel that very often children want to be part of something that you're doing. And this is an invitation for children and you as parents to really come together and feel that connectivity. That just seems to go through the day. It just takes you through the day.
Yeah.
And I think for children, very often they want to be taken care of. They want to be felt, to be respected, to be known, honored, and all of this takes place just by that alignment.
Yeah.
That's my experience anyway. It isn't that you're just saying, here, that's just our energies meet together. You're saying a whole host of things. Some things you're conscious of, some things you're not conscious of. But in effect, what you're saying is, we're meeting. We're meeting on these amazing levels. We're meeting as powerful beings. We're not just child and parent. We are being creators together. Creators of our lives. Creators of the reality that we are enjoying in our relationship. So I think that relationship is a really key thing here. That you feel that there is a relatedness to other people, a relatedness to this power, which you somehow are being filled with. And we said this in a few calls already. If you're being the power, there's no questions, because you're really being the power. You're supplying all the answers. There's nothing that you really need to worry over in any sense whatsoever. As far as collaborations and partnerships go, once you do this, everything starts to go very easy. It's like the the oil. It just makes things just so fluid and so frictionless that you're able to speak to people and engage with them on a level which they respond to. And you also get them to speak with you and feel that you are fully attentive to what they have to offer.
Yeah. I was thinking as you were talking that you don't feel alone.
No.
I remember the feeling before I got into any of this kind of stuff of being always wondering, was I the only one in the world, and was everything else just, I was the window of my eyes and everything else was just an illusion, Well, from this place, from where we are now, in alignment, in connection, absolutely the reality of another's being. And the beauty and the charm and the enchantment of being with another's being like that is just something off the charts. And even if we're not together, there's still a connection there that's brilliant. So let me just shift the conversation into partnership, and you and I as an example for that at the moment, because we've been together for 19 years now, long time. And I think like most couples, when we first started, there were challenges. We were learning how to be together and live together. But I would say one of the things that's happened for us in the last 10 years, that would be my points of how to make a great relationship, a great partnership, is an absolute respect for one another.
Yes,
And behind that respect, a kindness to one another. I think that's one of the things you've taught me, Santari, is kindness. So I've always been impatient and all of that, and you've taught me to be kind in a partnership, which is really lovely.
But also not to feel that you're nice but taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I think there's a respect, but also a strength that goes with that respect. That you hold the person in equal place with yourself.
Yeah.
So therefore there's a complete acceptance, acknowledgement, and honouring that goes hand in hand, with all that we've just said.
Yeah. So connection, kindness, alignment, but then also there's more than that. I would say, just like my brain's just gone blank. It was something I wanted to say, so let me just tune into it. So just feel our connection. Oh yeah, our independence is the other piece. You and I, unlike previous relationships I've had, are not intertwined and interdependent. We are independent. We are our own beings with our own passions and work and loves and visions, and we align where we align, and we support each other where we need to go and be independent in some other way. We're still aligned. It doesn't mean we have to be in each other's pocket. So, for example, Santari's planning to go in a couple of years to Japan to teach English as a foreign language for a year, and I don't have any desire to go to Japan, so I would never ever consider stopping you from that vision, that dream unfolding. And people say to me, "What? You're letting your husband go?" I'm like, that's a ridiculous question. That's a ridiculous statement. Letting him go. What? That's just so not a partnership. A partnership is you support each other in what you're up to, and you trust each other implicitly in what you're up to. Like you and I, for me, for you, I trust you implicitly. There's no decision you could make that I wouldn't say you were doing it for the right reasons and obviously aligned for something right in yourself, and I would trust that implicitly. So, those are some of the key things for me that I think make a great partnership. And I would say love yourself, love your life, align with your partner to support them in their greatest being, their greatest work, their greatest visions, and everything else will take care of itself. So that would be it for me. How about for you in partnerships?
Well, as well as the autonomy that you just spoke to, I think all the things that we have taken into account so far, the ability to be able to listen without interrupting, to listen attentively, to listen and understand.
Mm-hmm.
And in that space of listening as well, there is engagement that takes place. It isn't like, well, yeah, I'll listen to you, for you to say what you need to say. There is a value in listening and a value in understanding what it is that you're saying as well.
Mm.
Because it works the two ways, it works both ways.
Mm.
As you listen, so I also get to be in the place of understanding.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we learned about 10 years ago was if either one or both of us is upset, don't communicate right then. Make a commitment to communicate, but sleep on it, even if you need to seethe through the night. Because it never works to communicate when you're really, really upset. It's much better to let it gel and then to have a commitment to fully listen, to fully communicate, to fully speak what you need to speak in a calmer moment. And that, in fact, once you and I made that agreement, I don't think we've had another argument since, which has been
I
interesting.
can't remember when it was.
10 years ago. Yeah.
I think also what helps partnerships and collaborations is when you're looking at the other person, again, it's shifting your focus, that it's not a individual, a human being with foibles, with weaknesses, with dramas, etc. This is a being who's trying to communicate something perhaps which is unlanguageable or can't be put into words just at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it is having to go to that, let's say, this place of identifying yourself and others as this creative intelligence that is working something miraculous in physical form, in physical life, and using language and using other ways to communicate what is going through their consciousness at that moment. And if you can also understand and almost like tap into that thing that needs to be languaged, then you're part of it. You're part of the communication. You're part of the creating of consciousness. And therefore it is not just being with a person. Mm-hmm. It's sidestepping all of that and going to the place where you are seeing that creative intelligence is being manifested because you're going there and engaging with it.
Mm-hmm. It's awesome, masterful being to awesome, masterful being, I would say. Yeah, brilliant. Well, let's move it from partnerships to collaborations and then eventually to collectiveness. So we've spent a lot of time working on collaboration. I remember back in 2002, I think it was, when we were in Devices, we had a whole 2-day workshop on it because collaboration hardly existed back then. Everything was individual, everything was competition, everything was, it was all challenging. We created the consciousness of collaboration in that workshop with some very good friends of ours. And immediately we began to see collaborations in the world, and that has grown and evolved and stepped up to new levels. I would say for me, some of the things I've learned about collaboration, always align. First of all, with your collaborator or collaborators. Always be sure that you're heading in the same direction, that you are sharing a path or visions or paradigm, at least. For me, it's been essential that we kind of share, I would say, a paradigm, an approach, a way, a vibe, that kind of thing. And once that's there, then everything else falls beautifully into place. And there has to be a complete mutual awe and respect, and your job for each other is to hold that space for them to show up so massively big Now it's taken me quite a while to learn that, because for me, I did have challenges originally collaborating with other people, especially as co-leading, even as with you originally, Santari. You remember, it was hard for me because I like being the one in the front.
Resistance is futile.
That's right. But, I had friends, Jane and Dorothy and others, who stuck by me and got me through it. And now I love collaborating. I really do enjoy it. My fellow collaborators are amazing beings who you just want to genius listen to them. You can almost sit back and go, wow. And the more you do that, the more comes out of them brilliantly. And I've found often in recent times, where I still love training and I still love being at the front, I also love sitting back and being awed by my collaborators, to see the masterful, genius, new, brilliant things they say and do and come up with. It's just so exciting. And I think in the fabric of learning, especially if we're talking about workshops, it's so much more exciting to have multiple perspectives and multiple inputs to things. And that's certainly, as we've developed the collective of us all working together, oh my God, that takes it to a whole other level. So before we go collective, is there anything you'd like to say about collaboration, Santari?
Well, I think collaboration really works when you feel the movement of energy. There's got to be something that's afoot. If the conversation is just very nice but doesn't actually go anywhere, then the energy is flat. But if the conversation is actually moving your understanding and you can feel your participation levels rising, then of course it just starts to bubble. Things start to bubble. People start to bubble. They get excited. And I think that's what I would look for in a collaboration, partnership, conversation.
Yeah, because you have a great one with Cesarina. You do the quantum creativity radio shows, and you have a wonderful collaboration with her, don't you?
That's right. I mean, I might lead it mostly, but she's right there. She asks questions. Her presence is very noticeable, and I think again it's about the teamwork. Without really having to say a lot, you just mutually come together and line up, and the show goes on.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that's beautiful too that I see with you and her, sometimes she'll lead it on her own, sometimes you'll lead it on your own, and there's no attachment to the masterful collaborations. There's no like, oh, we always have to do it together, and we're going to have to do it together forever, and we're locked into this now, and our names are on this, so do you know what I mean? It's not like that at all. In a masterful collaboration, you are two independent, awesome beings who kind of slide together for a perfect moment and then slide back into individual autonomy until the moment comes when you slide together again. It's like a magnet being drawn towards an exponential creation, and it's perfectly okay to step away and not do things together if that's the right thing too. And I think in the new collaboration, we all understand that. We know when it's right to collaborate. We know when it's right to do something on our own, and we have no attachment to any of that.
I was going to say exactly that you notice sometimes it doesn't ring any bells for you. And I know that's hers. This one is for her.
Yeah.
And sometimes, she can't make a call, and I know this one is for me. And I think you realize that there's an energy indicator all the time, which signals to you whether you both should do this one or that there's just going to be one person doing this one. And I also have other collaborations too with various people, but you always know when it's going to be a silent time, when nothing's going to happen. And then you get this sort of like the feelers that it's time to pick something up now and make a call to them, arrange something, and there's a rightness to it.
Yeah.
You've got to feel the rightness of what is you're engaged on together.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's talk about collectiveness and a masterful collective. That's one of the things we're at work on in this 15 days is a masterful collective of a new sort. So I want to say a whole bunch of things about that. So um, I used to channel the masters, and I considered that just an awesome privilege, an awesome, amazing experience to do as they came through me. And then at one point I realized that it was all in consciousness, and it could just as easily be me saying it. I was assigning sentiency in consciousness to it. And certainly if I made it Merlin, it would sound a particular way. If I made it Sananda, it would be a different way, etc., etc. So I gave that up, and I began to just bring the straight consciousness through myself so I could be my own voice in the world and make it modern and fun and fresh and slangy and quirky and, genius in my own way. And I'm thrilled that I did that, even though I did miss working with the masters. Then about a month or so ago, in fact, I think it was in January, we did the Genius Universe series. And on the fourth call of that series, which, by the way, it is on the password-protected website, so you can look for the menu bar on there for Genius Universe, we did a call called The 100th Master. And it felt as if on that call, I think that was probably in early February, we were ready to be called into true mastery. Not just we're all learning to get there, but that we could become the new masters, in charge of consciousness, in charge of the world, in charge of the new genius universe. When I say in charge of, I don't mean solely like running the game. I mean like we have it, turning out. And on that was probably just the most amazing call I think we've ever done. And I remember looking around the network and touching every single person, and I named them while we were on that call until I found at least 100 of them. And when I found 100 and kind of said, yes, master, yes, master, yes, master, yes, master, yes, master, and there was a moment where when the 100th master slipped into play, something like burst into explosive presence. And the new masterful collective, I've been calling it the Master Collective, was born. It's a funny kind of name, but it is a collective of masters, masters of the genius universe. So, and hence this series now, which is what we're doing now, because that collective of masterful beings ready to be here to source the genius universe, this miraculous planet, the human race into what it's never been before, all of life, into something extraordinarily brilliant and genius, to take the dreamer's dream and make it something that it's always been waiting to become, but just may never have had the opportunity before. Like, wow. That's amazing. When you think about it, that's just amazing. So here are some of the things I've learned about that collectiveness. When we're on our consciousness creation calls, if we go round each person on the call first to be with them as a full, awesome, masterful being, the power in the work we do on the calls is amped up by 10, 100, whatever. You can tangibly feel the power go up in the work we're doing. And when we connect with one another like that, where years ago when I was telling people how to be with someone else's being, it would be step back, give them the space to be expansive, awesome, and you're kind of reveling in their brilliance. Well, with these masterful beings, it's different. It's more like I go, do me. I may have said that on yesterday's call about the power of ecstatic awe, but it's kind of like, okay, you're such a master. I'll have everything you've got. Yeah, do me. And I think that's more of an acknowledgement or a recognition than even just seeing them and witnessing them and celebrating them. Certainly in neither of those cases is it me coming to them as something greater, trying to get them to be greater. It's it's me as an awesome being coming to them as an awesome being ready to play. It's like high five. It's that kind of a feeling, and then a complete openness to they are such masters that our connecting is going to turn into something awesome. And that's how I now do it. So then when we do it with each person, so we go around, let's say there's 6 or 10 of us on a call, and we go around each person just quick, it might take 10, 20 seconds each, like this. And then suddenly, poof, we're all together as a collective, as masterful beings. And then we can power the work through. Extraordinary. Yeah. So maybe on one of our calls, Santari, we'll do each person. I'll make a list of everybody that's in the series, and we'll do each person on the call and then go into collectiveness. I think maybe we'll do that.
Maybe there'll be day 16.
No, I think maybe tomorrow or the next day. So for you, collectiveness?
All I would add to all of that really is being in that place of gifting, because you realize that it doesn't make any sense at all to think that you have the power. It's crazy when you really start to think about that. No, it's not that you have the power, it's the power is. And what you're doing is sometimes you're just gifting it in a very succinct and distinct way, that you know that somebody is deserving of something, perhaps of your attention, but you're already there to do it, to gift it. And I think the act of gifting, just like the act of blessing something, is an important part of what we do. That the big work is the ongoing work, is the power of being together, is the power of loving other people in for the things that they do, just seeing them and being present with them. But it is an interrelatedness. It isn't just about I'm going to step back and be awed by you. From my point of view, it's I can feel the power. Something is rippling. Somebody has already done something to the to the collective, for the collective, and I think we reciprocate that. We extend the power of what we feel, because why not? That for me is the reason why we're here. Mm-hmm. We're here to exhibit something so immensely beautifully constructed that when you feel the power rippling through you, it isn't just about feeling it rippling through your body. You feel it rippling through the energy field. You feel it extending itself through the conscious minds of other people. You feel that it goes on into other places, into other universes. It's just sort of like, as you think of something, it's already gone there. It's already gone bigger still. So if we're thinking about blessing the world takes the blessing, and then it just seems to go on a little bit further and beyond still. So you can never be completely distinct and say, this is where it ends. I'm giving you the blessing. The blessing will carry on. It's got its own momentum. It's got its own field of where it wants to go and wander to. And that is what for me the collective is too. The collective doesn't have boundaries. The collective is just an ongoing, eternal presencing. And for you to realize that you are also that presencing of the eternal, then anything that you might come up in your daily life, which you might think is a big thing, is not really a big thing. It's a little itsy bitsy thing, for which you can go, phew, And in doing that, it's not that you blast it, it's that you bless it. It's that you somehow um, give liberation to anything in this world that seems to needs to have that gift at this moment.
Mm.
And that, I think, is, if you're attentive to those moments, and it's just like I say the collaborations too, if you're attentive to what you're being called to, then you're always on the game.
Mm.
You always know what is next.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do just an exercise of connecting with the people we won't do them individually right now, but people in the series. So let's just try something so everybody can experience it. Okay, so take a deep breath. Allow yourself to be yourself fully. You're awesome, amazing, expansive, vast being. You are the genius universe in motion from one end of it to the other. You are sourcing and breathing and pulsing the flow of creation, the power that wants to create new possibility. But that's you as it. Now, there's 25 of us in this series, Masters of the Genius Universe, and feel us standing in a grand circle out in the middle of the universe. And as you just kind of draw your gaze around the circle, there they are. You just let your gaze drop and breathe the magnificence of each of these amazing beings. You don't have to spend a lot of time at it just yet. And we align together as a genius, masterful collective, as powering and sourcing a genius universe, a miraculous planet, a human race that takes your breath away and goes to places it's never considered before. Designers of a cosmos in motion to fulfill life. And you power through that which is yours to power through. And each one does that, and they power into the center of that circle of us. Each of their own genius gifts and powers and flows, and it fills the universe. And they swirl together to become one gigantic pulse. And then as you stand in the power of that rippling motion, you're breathing the power in and out. You can see that your field is different than where we began. Where we began, it was you as the universe. Now it's us collectively sourcing and mastering the genius of the universe into incredible creation. Suddenly your field, your experience, your awesomeness, your power is exponential because you are collective. And at the same point as you are collective, you are still you. You are you as all of it. And you can have much more impact from that place. Your collective field is more powerful than your individual field. And it is this way that we will bring through all that wants to come through for the newest creations. Because each one of us holds these gems in us that often people don't ever talk about or don't even know how to articulate or may not even know it lives in them. And then suddenly it's like it's unleashed. Their power of genius creation is unleashed when we collaborate as a collective like this. And to me, that's the extraordinary power and mastery of collectiveness right there. And it's growing by the day now, especially as we're doing this series together. We're becoming even more masterful and more powerful. And what we will be able to achieve as a collective by the time we're finished these 15 days, like, whoa, look at world. Look at universe. Wow, amazing. Thank you. I can still feel it. It's like delicious delight. I wouldn't want to work any other way. I wouldn't want to do it alone. I wouldn't want to be the only one. It just would not be anywhere near as much fun. It is that sense of being home, of Aora said it the other day as a tribe, you know? My iPhone's making beautiful sounds. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's lovely. It's the universe calling. Yeah.
I was just thinking then of the movie we saw yesterday of Cinderella, of how she got to the ball, not just by her own steam, but the fairy godmother transformed the two lizards into footmen, the goose into the driver, and of course the four mice into white steeds, so that all together the magic of it was to take Cinderella to the ball, and where she wooed the palace. So I sometimes think that we come together in various roles, and we just know what to do, how to work together to have something turn out brilliantly. And here it's not just taking Cinderella to the ball, it's taking something to the center and core of our collective being. And for us to feel that, we're not individuals in any way, really. We're not separate from this. We are necessary components for this creative apparatus to work, which is the collective consciousness, and which is the collective core, and all that can be created from it. So,
Yeah, beautiful.
all together, all for one, one for all. Three
Yeah.
musketeers.
Do you know, that reminds me to say something about oneness. It's different than oneness. It's allness. There's a very different energetic behind oneness. In oneness, we seem to just all dissolve and become one thing, or one universe. But in allness, we all become the fullest of ourselves, and none of that is lost in our fusion. In our fusion, we all become more than we were before. In oneness, we seem to become all the same. That's my take on the energetics, of how I think it's perceived in the world and how generally it's done. So I'm up for collective allness on a masterful level. It's quite amazing, actually.
Well, I think it's just great to remind people that it's the alignment which really allows this all to take place. Because if you have people come together without alignment, then instead of fusion, you get confusion. So
Well said, Santari.
don't forget the alignment.
That's right, back to where we started. Yes, it is critical, isn't it? That alignment, yeah. So when you go to do the consciousness link up today, when you hit that, remember to align with everyone in the series first. And even you can expand the collective beyond that to all those who want to join in the masterful collective to source that which is ready to source now. And that could include many beings, alive and in non-physical, and animals and nature and earth and all of it. So it doesn't have to just be the 25 of us. There's many, many, many more. The 100 and hundreds and thousands and millions and billions of masters. There's a thought. There's a feel. Billions of masters co-creating. Yes. All in aligned collaboration for exponential creation. Oh, I love it. Yes.
Gee, I wonder what we're going to do tomorrow.
I don't know. We never know till we go to do it. Brilliant. That was really great. Yeah, the power of that was quite incredible. So we'll see where we go next. So have a geniusly collaborative, super collective day, everybody.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye for now.
Lots of love. Bye.